What's going on, guys? It's your boy Thomas, and today I'm going to be going over one of my first races on Assetto Corsa. And the purpose of this video is to be a bit of an inspirational or motivational voice to the beginning sim racer. And as you can see right now, I completely fail my start. I'm not prepared to start the game, and I have zero reaction time. What I was doing was putting on my racing glove at the very last second, and it cost me a bad start. But it's not the end of the world, because a lot of times in the first big braking zone in these games, people are going to be going, all kinds of ways. People are going to be flying off the track, not braking enough, getting sent off to God knows where, disconnecting, and utter chaos will ensue. So right here, I try to use that corner worker as a braking zone, but as you can see throughout this video, in my 12 laps, I don't hit it perfectly at all. And that's okay. I think there's, at least for me, a lot of pressure that us gamers put on ourselves to be perfect, to be the guy finishing on the podium, and I'm over here getting overtaken in the hairpins. And you know what? That's fine. It's not a big deal. What I think you should focus on as an early sim racer is learning a track, figuring out where the limit is with your car, and just slowly improving upon your own individual racing skills. I got overtaken by two guys right there, and in the past that would really piss me off. I might even have left the race, to be honest. It doesn't matter anymore to me. So I got a little bit of oversteer right there, getting heavy on the throttle, and right here into this final corner I'm braking too much. So in my next race I realized that you can just downshift and coast through that corner, and then even in the middle of it, get on the throttle a little bit more. So right here, going onto the main straight, I'm very clearly in 14th place, but I'm not in last. And that's important. You can always be in second to last, and then you're at least racing someone, right? So this part of the track is pretty self-explanatory, flat out. This guy goes off around to the left. Now, corner worker right here, let's see my braking. Hard on the brake, and then I trail brake a little bit, and that was pretty good. Don't know exactly what the gear shifts were there, but I'm kind of changing my camera to get a better view of the track. I like the wider open cockpit views, just to get more of the track in my field of view. But anyway, setting aside from the gameplay, I kind of wanted to go over again why sim racing can be so much fun even as a beginner. No one starts off racing at the top of their class. Many of us are fans of racing, fans of cars, and we want to emulate our favorite racing drivers, whether it's some guy in F1, IndyCar, drifting, rallycross, any series, but we most of the time aren't even close to their level. Most people have had so much experience karting and just racing for their whole lives, and they developed those skills over the course of many years. So you can too. And I think the biggest thing is to get decent enough equipment, but don't worry about having the best of the best. Having equipment that works for you, that you're allowed to kind of simulate racing, is fine. If it's a cheap Logitech wheel, so be it. If it's secondhand stuff you find on eBay, that's great. Or if you can afford a $2,000 racing cockpit, that's amazing. So then going into the big braking zone right here, a little early on the brakes, maybe, but not too bad. Not too bad. And I'm coming up on a pack of cars right here, and I think another piece of advice I suppose I'd like to give would be, don't focus too much on the other cars, or at least don't let them distract you from your own race. What I mean by that is, if you're hyper focusing on passing a car, let's say you're going into this hairpin turn right here, I really want to pass this guy, so I'm going to wait and late brake super late. It could cause me to, completely miss my braking zone and then make a mistake, and then I'm even farther behind, So it's better to focus on smooth racing, and I'm telling myself the same thing throughout my race. I'm very much still getting used to it. I'm braking so much right here. You don't need to do that. But at the same time, here's what I'll say about that. It's much, much better to overbrake and have a slow lap than to go off overcooking it. Because when you overcook it and you fly off the track, it's gonna be really hard to get back from that. And I do go off the track a few times in this race, and I'll let you know why. It's in this braking zone right here. Turn 4, the first big turn actually. So sometimes I will be focusing too much on my trail braking and not enough on the initial brake. See that guy right there? I think he over throttled coming out of that turn. So I passed him here. And look at that. I wasn't even really focusing on him. What I was doing was maintaining my speed, focusing on my race, trying to hit my apexes and braking zones. I'm using this side road right here as a kind of indication to start braking. And yeah, I've been having so much fun with sim racing. And as a beginner, I want to do my very best to completely spin out there. What I did is I downshifted to first gear, trying to get a little bit of engine braking, and it was too much, but I managed to save it. The MX-5 Miata is just a perfect car for beginners. I mean, it's got smooth, balanced power, and it's really fun to drive. I would really love to get an 8 shifter to drive this completely manual. I'm using a Thrustmaster T300 wheel with paddle shifters, which is great. I really do like the paddle shifters, but anyway, going back to what I was saying, as a beginner or as a person starting off in sim racing, you don't want to be a hindrance in the lobby. When I joined my first online session, I didn't quite know what was going on, and I think it would have been smart for me to look into online in Assetto Corsa before just jumping into a lobby. I think what I did was I went out in a lobby. I went out into a mid-race in a game where the race was already going on, and I didn't understand that there was qualifying sessions, practice sessions. So usually on Assetto Corsa, they'll have a qualifying session where people set their fastest laps, like many racing series, and then that sets the grid. So I didn't know that, and I got kicked out of the server, but you really don't want to be a hindrance to the people that are faster than you. On this track, I think people were going 4 seconds faster than me, which is significant, but I felt like I was doing a pretty good job, and looking back at my gameplay, it's smoother than I thought it was. I'm definitely braking way too much here, but like I said, slow and steady gets us past yellow right there. He, for whatever reason, didn't brake enough and slid off into the sand, so I can't stress that enough. Start slow. Play the game in solo mode, practice your lines. I think this was one of the career maps with the Expo, the KTM, so I got a decent amount of experience with that. But for me personally, just sim racing has really helped me out. I just totally go off the track there, but it's all right. It's a really wide berth right there. I guess I'll get into some personal stuff right now. So if you've been watching this far, I appreciate it. And if you could leave me a like, that would mean a lot. It would mean so much to me. Oh my God. I'm just kidding. But just to share some personal information about me, I actually have a pretty significant condition, I guess. It's called tinnitus. I don't know if you've heard of that from maybe your grandma has it or someone that you know that's been in the military, but essentially what essentially it is a sound, a ringing noise in someone's ears that is not there. It's not really something that anyone else can hear. It's just in your own brain. I don't know why I'm struggling so hard to explain this, but I do get past this guy right here, which is pretty cool. Because again, he overcooked it, and slow and steady wins the race. Except it doesn't really win the race, but it definitely keeps you on the track, which is good enough. But back to my story about tinnitus. So yeah, and I go past this guy too. I don't know what he was doing, but he was chilling in the grass. But on a more serious note, I got tinnitus about 7 years ago when I was 18. I was at a concert and I didn't wear hearing protection. And since that day, my ears have had a noise in them. It's been a high-pitched ringing. And for anyone out there who has tinnitus, I will say this: you can get over it and you can recover from it. I was in a really good place with my tinnitus for many years, but recently it has come back and it's been really significant and it's been really loud and it's been really debilitating for me. Right now, I can't wear any headphones, for instance. So playing any kind of first-person shooting game, which I used to love playing, is out of the question. I can't really function in any capacity in a silent room at this point, so I have to have fans going on, and I have to use noise maskers to mask the noise because it's so loud. And for a while I was really depressed about it, because one of my favorite hobbies has been racing for the past 2 years. I've been going to the track with my dad, who has gotten really into it in his later years, and I've been able to drive his Corvette and really push it on the track, but it's such a loud experience that even with hearing protection, it's just too dangerous because it will cause, more hearing loss for me, which really sucks. And sim racing has saved me in a lot of ways, because I can play this game on my speakers and I can play it with a podcast going on. During this race, I was listening to Bill Burr's Monday Morning Podcast, which is so funny and really entertaining. And I've been able to rekindle my love and joy and appreciation for racing through games. And this video totally just changed into a story about me, but I think it's really important that you guys know, why this is so important to me and why, I'm battling it out for 12th place right here, and this guy's probably going to pass me, but I don't even care because I'm having fun and I'm doing something that I can't do in the real world. And I'm sure many of you, don't have the money or capability or car or resources near you to go racing in the real world. It's expensive. I'm someone who was super lucky, whose dad got into it, who became an instructor and got discounted rates and taught me how to race on the track and have those experiences at tons of places in the real world. And I plan on getting back to that once my tinnitus quiets down. But for now, I'm focusing on this and racing in the virtual world, I suppose. So being a beginner and sucking and overcooking it into the first big braking zone doesn't matter. If you're having fun, if you're slightly improving, if you are in a race with real people and having a good time, that's all that matters. I feel great that I'm racing this guy. I'm in front of him, for a while I would play Assetto Corsa and I could not stay on track to save my life. And this is pretty cool right there. That was a pretty big save. I just completely drifted it into that corner, getting on the gas too early, maybe downshifting too soon, and this guy goes past me. That downshifting to 1 is just not the move. So going back, guys, shift in a second right there. But it's been a great experience, and it made me want to make this video again and put it up on my channel. And I want to share some of my races with the world and show that beginners can have a good time too with racing. And there we go again, catch a drift. And people with tinnitus can play racing games, because it doesn't matter, you don't have to have a headset on to play this game. You don't need even sound. You could play this on mute if you needed to. But essentially, I've just been having a great time with this game. And it's brought just this level of comfort, and I think I'm struggling to find the words for it, but when you have a hobby and you're improving at it and watching yourself get better, the progress that you make is just addicting and fun. If you've ever had experience with a sport and you just really wanted to get better at it, and you practice and practice and practice, and then you go to the game and you make a goal, or you you have a play that really helps out your team, or let's say you're an artist and you really want to master a new type of style, or you may be getting into graphic design and you're learning Photoshop tutorials. Once you start doing that and you start improving on it, it's a lot of fun, and maybe you want to share it. And that's me right here with this race. Like, I'm not Super GT or Jimmy Broadbent or any of these top sim racing YouTubers, and I don't even expect to get any views in this video. But if you're watching this, thank you. It means a lot to me. And you know, whatever it is that you want to do, that you feel like you're not good enough to do, whether it's something that you tell yourself or society tells you, just, as cliche as it sounds, just get started and be all right with sucking at it. Like, I know I'm probably going to overcook it into this corner, right? I'm not going to brake enough. There it is. But you know what? Get back on the gas, turn in, and just keep going for it. Oh yeah, need that water. And that's pretty much the point of this video, is I want to be an inspiration to any beginner sim racer or anyone who suffers with tinnitus. It's a very strange and probably small niche of people, but if that's you, hell fucking yeah. And you know, making this video, even going over my gameplay, is making me realize where I'm messing up. Like right there, like going a little over. And I don't pretend to be knowledgeable on all the, you know, terms and racing terms. I just completely lost my train of thought there at all. But hey, we're just casual players out here trying to make our way through the lobbies. So we're on the final lap, guys, and it's pretty much all I wanted to say. Thank you for watching this. It's gonna be my last lap, and I don't really have any audio for this because unfortunately I recorded this with my mic in the background and it picked up the podcast I was listening to, so I had to mute the game, which is whatever, not that big of a deal. But you know, for me, what I'm focusing on in sim racing is consistency, smooth transitions, not getting on the gas too early, making sure I'm looking at a braking point rather, hitting it at the same time, focusing on the apex and looking ahead of the car. God, I wish I remembered to say that earlier in the video. Look ahead of your car. Someone taught me this in real life and it really helped me out. Because if you look at the apex of the corner and then just use your peripheral vision to find your turning point, focus on that apex, you will hit it every time. Your hands will do the rest. If you focus on that apex and you have an understanding of the car, you'll do it. And don't give up. Whatever it is you're fighting, whatever it is you're going through in life, it will get better. You will not be sad, depressed, hopeless forever. It gets better. Do what you love. Make good choices. Have healthy habits. Pray and meditate if that's what interests you. And that's all I got for today. Thanks, guys.